May 7, 1977, a tragic chain of mistakes, confusion, and miscommunication would end 583 lives in Tenerife, Spain. The events began far from Tenerife, when a terrorist bombing at Las Palmas Airport on the nearby island of Gran Canaria forced the airport to close temporarily. With nowhere else to land, dozens of flights were diverted to Tenerife's much smaller Los Rodeos Airport, a facility never designed to handle so many large aircraft at once. Among those diverted were the Boeing 747 jumbo jets, one belonging to KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, the other to Pan American World Airways. With only one main taxiway, Los Rodeos quickly became crowded. Many planes had to park directly on the tarmac, and when Las Palmas finally reopened, aircraft had to taxi along the runway itself to reach the takeoff point. By then, weather conditions had worsened. Fog rolled in from the mountains, reducing visibility to a few hundred feet. The airport had no ground radar, meaning air traffic control could only rely on radio transmissions to know where planes were. The KLM 747, commanded by Captain Jacob Veldhuizen van Zanten, taxied to the very end of the runway to prepare for takeoff. The Pan AM 747, under Captain Victor Grubbs, was still taxiing down the runway and had been instructed to exit via a taxiway before the KLM began its takeoff roll. But communication was unclear. Radio chatter overlapped. The KLM crew believed they'd been cleared for takeoff when, in fact, air traffic control had only told them to stand by. At 5:06 p.m., the KLM captain pushed the throttles forward, accelerating down the runway. The Pan Am plane was still ahead, moving slowly toward its assigned taxiway exit. In the dense fog, neither crew could see the other until it was far too late. The Pan Am crew suddenly spotted the lights of the KLM emerging from the mist. "There he is!" one of them shouted, but they had no time to move clear. The KLM captain pulled back hard on the controls in a desperate attempt to lift off early, but the lower fuselage and engine struck the top of the Pan Am, tearing it apart and bursting both planes into flames. The KLM was destroyed instantly, killing everyone on board. Incredibly, 61 people aboard the Pan Am survived, escaping through holes torn in the fuselage before the fire consumed it. Still, 583 people lost their lives, the worst death toll in a single aviation accident. The investigation found multiple causes: poor visibility, the lack of ground radar, congested conditions from the earlier diversion, and crucially, unclear radio communication. From this tragedy came major changes in aviation safety. Air traffic control phraseology was standardized to avoid misunderstandings. Pilots worldwide began receiving training in crew resource management, a system that encourages every crew member, regardless of rank,